Yes, indeed. The sounds of rap in the forums here on WoW Radio. This is, of course, Blue Please with myself, Total Biscuit. Yes, rap in the forums is unfortunately very, very real. It is a grave threat to us all and should be destroyed. Alright, okay, back on to the topic. We are raising money, or at least we're trying to. We need equipment for BlizzCon. We need industry-grade, or at least commercial-grade, video cameras. At least 2 of them, preferably, so that we can catch everything. With 1, we're going to miss some of the good things which are going on. And you wouldn't want that, would you? And you can help by giving money. Even if it's a small amount, every little helps. And to do the fundraising, I'm doing a little fundraiser tonight. Karaoke. If you want me to sing karaoke, you can give money. If you don't want me to sing karaoke, you can give money. The person, or the people, of course, who donate the most will have their wish as my command. Now, I just noticed that in the PayPal box there is not an option for sending a message. So if you do donate, PM your details to Athelis with your vote yes or no. By the sounds of it, from what people have been saying, it's been pretty even so far. So if you want to sway the vote in your favour, then do it. The result and the resulting thing, whatever that may be, whether it be total silence or horrible karaoke doom, will be happening in the next 15 minutes, only here on WoW Radio. We are raising funds, we are going to BlizzCon, give us your money or we will steal your things, is pretty much the theme of today. Now, Nefarian is dead. Horribly dead. Now, I was told and informed that the first Nefarian kill was in fact an exploit. Whether or not that was true, I really do not know. All I am now aware is that several guilds, EU guilds, and I assume US guilds as well, have taken Nefarian down. I saw his head in Orgrimmar on my server. I wasn't particularly pleased that the buff wasn't better than the Onyxia buff, but never mind. Buffs are buffs, and it is a rather cool head. We had a Onyxia and Nefarian head next to each other, and it was like, hey, that's great stuff. We like that kind of thing. So congratulations to Synergy from my server and anyone else who has successfully managed to take down Nefarian. What's next? Big challenge is down. Now it's on farm status. That's kind of sad in a way. It's been ages since Blackwing Lair was released. Was it 1.6, 1.5? I think it was 1.6. I may be wrong there. Blackwing Lair was released. It was not put on the test server. It was a total and complete mystery, and it's taken this long for people to beat it, and that is encouraging. Because if people have an aim like that, they will shoot for it, and that's the reason they will continue to play the game. My current aim, and our guild's current aim, is to conquer Molten Core. We're 4 bosses down. And Geddon is going down next. Then Shaz, Golomag Sulfur, and Major Domo, and then hopefully Ragnaros. And of course we've still got Onyxia to beat, and then that's not even thinking about Blackwing Lair, or Kha'Zix, or Resurgus, or any of the 4 new Emerald Dragons, which we'll be attempting later. Plenty of goals still for our guild. What about the guilds who don't have any goals anymore? What about those guilds who took down Nefarian? Nefarian, if they take him down next time, maybe on farm status. They have no real goals other than to kit themselves up from Blackwing Lair. New instances. Now, I've been commenting for the past couple of weeks as to whether or not just adding harder and harder and harder instances is the way to go. And I think there is a place for it. There is definitely a place for it. Because right now, I cannot envisage myself quitting WoW anytime soon. Other than for some reason from an external force. I wouldn't willingly quit WoW at this point, because there's plenty more for me and my guild to do. What about for those who've done it all? New instances, harder instances, definitely need to be put into the game. Anchorage is coming soon. It's a combination instance. There's a initial instance, which is 20-man, apparently slightly harder than Zul'Gurub, and a new 40-man instance on the level of Blackwing Lair with an ancient god as the final boss. That should be fun. Should it be put into the game? Absolutely. Should more instances like that be put in the game? Yeah, basically. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with people getting horribly bored. And that's the enemy of every single MMORPG on the planet, is that a large guild gets bored and leaves. People see that as a sign of a failing game. They look to these guilds often in admiration, perhaps jealousy, perhaps they don't like them. But they can't help but admire how far they've got into the game. whereas they have failed to get to that stage, whether it be through lack of time or simply due to lack of members, lack of organisation, etc, etc. When a girl like that leaves the game, it's a sad day. They may have been a bunch of complete and total wankers, but it's still a sad day to see a large guild leave due to lack of content, because that is a harbinger of doom. It will grow on people's mind, it will become an issue to them that the game perhaps does not have enough content. How do you fix it? More instances. More content. And again, I would agree with the policy of not putting this kind of thing on the test server. I disagreed with Zul'Gurub being put on the test server. Blackwing Lair had its problems because it wasn't put on the test server, but they were eventually fixed. And it's taken this long to finish Blackwing Lair. Zul'Gurub was beaten in the first night it was released. Why? Because people had beaten it already on the test server. They knew what to do. Strats were out before I even started. We watched a few videos of the initial few bosses. People knew how to do it, and they did it first couple of tries. Her car was down the first night Zul'Gurub was released. That was quite a sad thing to see. I did not want to see her car go down, especially bearing in mind the encounters in there are so interesting. It was seemingly counterproductive to put that on the test server. But you can partially blame the players for that. Players complained that Blackwing Lair was bugged. Yeah, it's fine. You complained that the content was bugged. However, you also didn't want it on the test server, which is a way of shaking down the content. You got to bear in mind that players, an infinite number of players, will do an infinite number of stupid things, and they will find issues with the content that the testers and internal staff will not necessarily find. That's the advantage of the test server, assuming Blizzard do listen to the concerns put on the test server feedback. But the advantage of not putting it on the test server is a degree of mystery left in the game. And let's face it, there's not a lot of that left. Thoughtbot, Alakazam and that kind of thing have seen to that. They're great resources, but there is not all that much exploration, and there's certainly not all that much mystery left in the game at this point. Now, I would hope that Anchorage is tested thoroughly, internally, and put on the server whether or not it's buggy or not. They can hotfix it later if they wish. They can fix it in the next patch. As long as there's nothing game-breaking in there, put it in. Let people discover the crazy little elements of the instance for themselves. It's all about game immersion. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can't immerse yourself in an instance that you know back to front. It becomes a farming run for you. And if you know an instance back to front before you even go inside, that's even worse. And it happens. People know. They know how to do these instances already. How do they know? It's quite simple. They know because they've tried it. It was on the test server for them. It's a difficult balancing act. There are advantages to both. Now, I would lean in favour of not putting the things on the test server. I would lean in favour of that. And it's because of game immersion. It's because of mystery, and it's because of longevity. Bear in mind how long it takes to create a new instance and get it on there. It should not, as far as I'm concerned, an instance should not be being beaten before the next big instance is released. Blackwing Lair was not beaten until after Zul'Gurub, but Zul'Gurub was beaten in a night. That's illogical. Yes, Zul'Gurub is not supposed to be as difficult as Blackwing Lair, but it should not have been beaten in a night, and the reason it was beaten in a night was because everyone knew what to do. And that was because it was on the test server. And you know what? It was still bugged. There are still issues with Zul'Gurub, they're only just fixed. For instance, the first boss, we found out the stopping the bats tactic was in fact an exploit, and this was fixed. It's made the bat harder, but still beatable. So, really, it's a matter of what do you choose? Do you choose to keep the mystery? Or would you like a more bug-free experience? And it goes all the way back to the argument of fix existing content over adding new content. Which do you prioritise? The answer should be you prioritise neither. because different teams work on different things. You don't have your art team working on technical bug fixing. It doesn't happen. That's the way a game studio works. But it often seems to some people, and perhaps even to me from time to time, that things are being prioritised over other things. Bug fixing being prioritised over new content being prioritised over bug fixing, even though that shouldn't be happening in the first place. My opinion is I prefer new content. I want to see new things in the game, and I want new things to shoot for. By the time Anchorage is actually released, I doubt we'll have finished Molten Core. So we've still got... what we've got left to still go up to do. We've got Molten Core, we've got Blackwing Lair, and we'll have Anchorage. That is enough content to keep us interested in the game for months and months and months. And I would hope that's exactly what Blizzard is thinking. They're thinking, the majority of the guilds in the game are perhaps not people who are cracking Blackwing Lair this quickly. We can get that content out. But I would hope that they do not forsake the idea of mystery and game immersion for the test server, because I don't agree with it. Test server's a great idea, but it does ruin game immersion. And I don't like that. And I don't think I ever will, which is the reason I don't use the test server. I don't want to know about this content. Other than the stuff which I get for the show to tell you, I generally do not want to know about new content because I would like to discover it for myself. Okay, you're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. It is time for the No Cake News. This is a sarcasm and satire warning. While topical, this feature is not meant to be serious. It is a joke. It is satirical. If you cannot deal with satire, sarcasm, irony, or typical British humour, please tune out right now. This is Nubcake News. Welcome to this week's edition of Nubcake News. Coming up later, a special report on some random thing with no actual significance tacked onto this particular feature to fill up 5 seconds of it and make it sound like it's some kind of actual real news broadcast. But first, a mysterious and unexplainable phenomenon that scientists have been describing as ZOMG Nerf has been occurring throughout the world recently. In what appears to be some kind of mass crime wave, innocent warriors and rogues have been waking up to find their Arcanite Reapers and Barman Shankers stolen and replaced by tins of herring and plastic golf clubs. Undeterred by this hideous event, many elite classes went back to PvP, only to find that attempting to backstab players with a small plaster recreation of a walrus was not quite as effective as they'd hoped. Ignoring the possibility of using other weapons, thousands of players have been battering at the doors of the famous Dr. Nerfenstein in desperate need of help and answers. He finally emerged from his secret island Fortress of Doom to speak to the people and issued the following statement. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not be alarmed. We are already working on the problem as we speak. This strange phenomenon will be investigated and an answer will be found. We have the utmost confidence in our... What? What? You have the answer already? Don't cough, you damn kids with your music. Ladies and gentlemen, we have found the culprit in this mysterious charade. The multinational criminal organization of hacks. Blizzard is responsible for this. They are using secret internet teleportation devices to beam your slow and powerful weapons into some secret underground lair and force you to use others' weapons. Naturally, it is unthinkable for any of you to actually use anything other than the preset weapon for your cookie-cutter build, so we shall march on Blizzard's secret underground lair and take the weapons back by force. We unfortunately don't know where the Blizzard's secret underground lair actually is, but we shall write them a threatening open letter immediately. Following this threatening open letter, Blizzard apparently quaked in unspeakable dread. Or rather, they didn't, and simply issued the following statement. We here at Blizzard are listening to your concerns. Please send us your letters of concern so that we can read them. And we will look into that. As a nerd, right. I'm sorry. No, I can't. It's too funny. You must all learn to play your class, noobs. We hate all melee users. Next patch, we shall be removing all uncommon, superior, and epic quality weapons from the game. Rogues will be forced to use level 1 daggers, since we hear you're quite good with this kind of thing. Warriors will be forced to do damage with shield bash only. Thank you for your time and enjoy our fantastic game. We here at Nubcake News are totally satisfied with Blizzard's response and have definitely not been paid large amounts of money to say so. You can be confident in our independent We Love Blizzard reporting. This has been Nubcake News. Good night.